Everyone was there just waiting for me. There were plenty of stingrays and XKs.
Did you lose a track to this song, by the way? Tomas is playing this song in there. I think we got it. There you go.
You know you're gonna shut 'em down.
This is a neat song.
When the flag went down, you could hear of it burn.
Carol Connors wrote this one, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, little Cobra. So what happened to your Cobra? You got to tell us. You had one. Come on.
No. It's a long, involved story. It's a family thing, and I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
I just refuse.
Well,
I want to stay in a positive mood.
You could say you had one, an original one, too.
Yeah, in fact, if you get the book, by the way, Larry, I loved Magnum P.I., and I watched it all the time, and you were so great on it.
Were you in that show, Larry?
Yeah, just a little. Thank you,
Rick,
sweetie.
you played Rick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
But
thank you.
there's a book called Remembering the Shelby Years,
Yeah.
1963 to I think 1969, and people can get it. And I have 4 pages in the book.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
A picture
With all
of
the
you.
race car drivers, Dan Gurney, Bob Bondurant, all of them.
Wow.
Oh, Bob Bondurant was a friend of ours.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
That's another story. We'll have to tell
That
that
was- So
story.
the
That
song.
was Larry and his Ferrari with
Really?
Bob Bondurant.
You-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. We beat the Ferraris. I was there when
There you
when
go, Larry.
old man Ferrari was told by Carroll Shelby that he was going to beat the pants off him
See
at Le
that?
Mans, and he did.
Old man Ferrari went down in the dust to
Hey,
Carol
I'm not-
Shelby.
I'm
There you
not-
go, Larry.
I'm not beefing about it. The Italians always win.
I lost that one.
Hey, you know.
I lost that one, Mr. Shelby. Thank you, Mr. Ferrari. Please sit back down in the seats over there. Thank you.
Cobra's my dream car.
It is? Did you ever own one?
I went to buy one in England, and I think Nancy talked me out of it.
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because of the way he drives.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, I had a Porsche and almost went off cold water
It's
canyon.
not
so-
not a safe car.
They
but
were
it's
not
fun.
a forgiving car.
Yeah,
No, not at
no.
all.
I
But
need a
Carroll
tank.
taught me how to drive it.
So how did you have to drive it? What did he show you? What were
Well,
the tips?
you know, it was a stick shift,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was not a. I had blue streaks on it, and it was not a car that forgave you. If you made a mistake, you could really eat it. you
Oh
know?
yeah.
So I
That's-
was very careful. I
that-
mean, Steve McQueen and I used to always end up having our Cobras at Carol's place, looking at each other.
We just booked his son today.
What
We just booked Chad McQueen today.
is that wild? Well, his
Yeah.
father's. When I would go into to bring my car in for something, I would say, "Oh, is that McQueen's car?" And Carol would say, "Yeah, he just did something to it on Mulholland or something."
Isn't that great? The great Carol Shelby, who just passed away
I know.
much too soon. And this song that Carol Connors wrote called Hey Little Cobra went to #1. That was what, 1964?
Yeah, it was 64.
Now, what about with the teddy bears? We can't forget to know them is to love them. I mean, come on. That's where it all started, right?
I was 16, and the infamous Phil Spector fell madly in love with my voice. And I don't know if you know, this is rock and roll history. His father had committed suicide. He moved out here to California with his mom and his sister Shirley, and he was dating my girlfriend Donna, and he kept hearing me sing, and he said, "I'm going to write a song for your voice." And I went, "Yeah, right." He said, "But first you have to give me $10. And I went, "But I don't have $10. I don't have 10 cents. I went to my mom and dad, and not that my father was a gambling man, because he wasn't, but jockeys live on the edge. And I said, "Please give me the $10. And I was so precocious and so obnoxious that they gave me the $10. We went in the studio, and I sang to No, No, No him in 2 takes, one for balance, one regular, no splicing, no nothing. Went on to become the #1 record in the world. It's now number 76
Wow.
of the top 5,000. And the reason Elvis Presley became my first boyfriend was because he had fallen in love with my voice on that record, and I was asked to meet him.
Hold the phone a second here. Wait a second. You don't just drop that little bomb on the audience here and say, Elvis was my boyfriend.
First.
Come on.
My
What was that all?
first.
How did that happen? Tell us. How'd you meet?
He wanted to meet the girl who sang To Know Him Is to Love Him
Mm-hmm.
because he had always loved my voice.
Yes.
And so I was brought up to the house by a friend. This was when he had the home on Bellagio in Bel Air. And I remember my first meeting with him because he was so gorgeous, and I was so scared. I was so young. I was 18. I was, I wasn't jailbait or anything. And he said to me, he was like this beautiful giant cat. I love cats. And he would like come up to me and say something, and then he would walk away, and I felt like a mouse, actually.
So it was a
And-
cat and mouse game. Can you hang on here because we're up against a break?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Oh, boy, this is
Exciting.
going to be a great story. Carol Connors telling the story about...
EP.
And by the way, Carol, will you take care of my cat next time? Because Nancy didn't do a very good job when I was on
That's not
vacation.
true.
Nope, I have an Abyssinian, and I'm only into my kitty.
You don't want to go there, Carol.
All right, I'm going to go jump in the shower. We'll all be right back on CRN Digital Talk Radio.